Lieutenant Kessan yawned, stretching in his chair, his third cup of stimulant brew cooling beside the monitoring console. Another tedious night shift aboard the Star-Wind Vigil, patrolling the distant fringes of Confederation space. His four-fingered hand idly cycled through routine system diagnostics, while his large violet eyes occasionally flicked to the viewport, revealing the vast emptiness beyond. 6 hours until shift change, he grumbled, tugging at his uniform collar. Perhaps it was time to submit another sector reassignment request. He'd already sent 3 in the past stellar cycle, each met with the same reply. Request received and forwarded to the relevant assessment division for future review. Typical Confederation bureaucracy, acknowledging everything, committing to nothing. The small crew compartment buzzed with the soft hum of life support systems, a sound so constant Kassane only noticed when it shifted pitch, which it never did. The routine was numbing. Scan, log, report, repeat. At times he daydreamed of alarms sounding, of real danger or excitement, anything to shatter the monotony. As if answering his thoughts, a faint chime rang from his console. Kessan blinked, assuming it was another routine alert, but when he checked the screen, he sat upright. What in the 7 moons? Long-range sensors had detected an unidentified vessel entering the sector, a large one moving deliberately. Kessan's fingers danced across the controls, activating full sensor sweeps. The ship wasn't transmitting any recognized Confederation codes. Computer, analyze the vessel's configuration and cross-reference with known designs, he ordered. After a brief pause, the computer replied, Analysis complete. No match in Confederation registry. Design suggests advanced propulsion, reinforced hull, and multiple weapon ports. Energy signature indicates military-grade shielding. Kessan's pulse quickened. This was no merchant freighter or diplomatic cruiser. The ship's angular, predatory design, with a matte black hull that absorbed starlight, screamed threat. Computer, any matches with non-Confederation species? Another pause. Partial match detected. Configuration shows 87% similarity to early Human Alliance schematics, but with modifications exceeding known capabilities. Kessan stared, incredulous. Humans? Impossible. Humans were newcomers to interstellar travel, classified as a developing species under Confederation oversight, confined to their home system and 2 colonies. Their ships were basic, short-range, and lightly armed. This vessel was none of those things. It was cutting-edge, heavily armed, and cruising boldly through restricted space. Slamming the emergency comm, he hailed the bridge. Captain Marilla, unknown warship in Sector 7. It's human, and built for battle. Within minutes, Captain Marilla stormed into the monitoring station, her scaled skin flushed a deep blue, signaling stress. Her eyes narrowed at the sensor data. Are you certain, Lieutenant? The computer confirms a human design base, Captain. But this is beyond anything they've shown before. Look at those weapon ports and power signature. They shouldn't have this tech. Marilla's lips thinned as she triggered the ship-wide alert. All hands to battle stations. This is not a drill. She turned to the comm officer. Open a channel to Confederation Command. The holographic display flared to life, revealing Admiral Z, his insectoid features unreadable. Captain Marilla, explain your alert. Admiral, we've detected an unregistered human vessel in restricted space, heavily armed, advanced design, requesting orders. A pause followed as Z consulted off-screen. His mandibles clicked in what Marilla recognized as concern. Stand by for updated orders. Do not, repeat, do not engage. Approach and verify identity only. The Council wishes to avoid a diplomatic incident. Marilla's scales darkened. With respect, Admiral, this ship violates at least 7 Confederation treaties. Noted, Zay cut in. Your orders stand. Approach, identify, report. Nothing more. The transmission ended. Marilla turned to Kesson. Well, Lieutenant, it seems we're in for an unexpected first contact. Set an intercept course, but keep shields up. Let's see what these humans are playing at. The Starwind Vigil adjusted course, engines humming as it closed on the mysterious vessel. On the bridge, tension crackled. The tactical officer's tentacles twitched over the weapons panel, while the navigator's multiple eyes blinked rapidly. As they neared, the human ship's scale became clear. Massive, at least twice the size of any human vessel Confederation intelligence had recorded. "They're hailing us," Kessan reported, surprise in his voice. "On screen," Marilla ordered, straightening her uniform. The view screen activated, revealing a human male in a military-style uniform, unlike any Confederation-approved design. He lounged in a command chair, one leg crossed, chewing a nutrition bar. In the background, rhythmic sounds, human music, played at a volume unthinkable on a Confederation ship. The human's eyes lit up at the alien faces. Swallowing quickly, he flashed a wide grin. "Well, hello, Captain Jack Morrison, HMS Indomitable. Fine day for a star cruise, isn't it?" Marilla's expression remained stone-cold, though her scales darkened slightly. "This is Captain Marilla, Confederation vessel, Starwind Vigil. Your ship is in restricted space. State your purpose and authorization." Morrison's smile held. "Pleasure to meet you, Captain. Authorization? Transmitting clearance codes now, all filed and approved by your Xenobiological Research Division last quarter." Kassan checked his console, eyes widening. "Captain, they're sending legitimate codes, signed by Subcommittee Chair Lorax of the Biological Survey Commission." Marilla's scales pulsed with disbelief. "Impossible. Humans lack clearance for this sector." Morrison shrugged, still grinning. "Check your records, Captain. Filed months ago. Just a routine engine test and survey mission. Nothing to fret over." Off-screen, a human voice shouted, "Hey, Captain, replace the coffee filter this time. Last batch tasted like coolant." Morrison winced slightly. "Pardon my engineer. Passion for beverages runs high on long missions." He leaned forward. "Anything else we can assist with? We're on a tight schedule." Marilla's eyes narrowed. "Your ship is heavily armed, Captain Morrison. Survey vessels don't need such firepower." Morrison feigned shock. "Armed? The Indomitable is a peacekeeping ship with standard defenses for uncharted space, all detailed in Section 47B of our clearance forms. You did read 47B, didn't you?" Before Marilla could reply, Kessan cut in. "Captain, update from Confederation Command. They acknowledge the human vessel and order us to stand down and resume patrol." Marilla's scales flashed between deep blue and angry purple. "Highly irregular. Captain Morrison, be advised, we'll file a full report with Command regarding this encounter." Morrison's grin widened. "We appreciate thorough records. Oh, and you might want to update your patrol routes. The Indomitable is just the vanguard. The rest of our expedition fleet arrives in a few days, all fully authorized, of course." "Expedition fleet?" Marilla's voice rose. "Just a small research flotilla," Morrison said, winking. "Looking forward to neighborly relations, Captain. Indomitable out." The screen went dark, leaving the Starwind Vigil's bridge crew in stunned silence. Marilla spoke, her voice tight. "Prepare a priority message to the Confederation High Council, marked urgent diplomatic concern." She stared at the massive human ship through the viewport. "We may have a situation brewing." "Yes, Captain," Kessan replied, typing rapidly. As his fingers moved, he couldn't shake the question. How had the supposedly primitive humans built such a vessel and navigated Confederation bureaucracy to secure clearance? Something was off, and the implications chilled him. The Starwind Vigil veered away, resuming its patrol, but every crew member kept glancing at their sensors, watching the Indomitable glide confidently through space as if it owned it. The High Council chamber of the Confederation sparkled with the grandeur of 1,000 worlds. Crystal pillars soared to a vaulted ceiling where a holographic map of Confederation territory shimmered, displaying thousands of stars and hundreds of member planets. Around a circular table sat representatives of the galaxy's most powerful species. Counselor Vrad slammed his scaled fist on the polished surface, making several counselors flinch. His reptilian features twisted with fury. This is an outrage. Humans have no right to deploy warships in Confederation space. Their species can barely sustain their colonies, let alone project power into our territory. Counselor Rhea, her slender form flowing as she gestured, spoke in a melodic tone. Let's hear all facts before judging, Counselor Vrad. Humans are inventive, but not openly hostile. Counselor Gores, his gaseous form shifting from purple to agitated orange within its containment field, emitted clicks translated into words. The vessel's specifications far exceed known human technology. This suggests either rapid advancement or external aid. The implication hung heavy. Assisting restricted species in technological leaps was a grave offense under Confederation law. At the table's head, High Chancellor Orita raised a six-fingered hand. Her species' famed neutrality and sharp intellect had earned her the Confederation's highest role. Her soft voice commanded attention. Let us proceed logically. Captain Marilla, present your report. The central hologram shifted to Marilla's face, her scales back to their usual blue-green, but her tension clear. High Council, 37 standard hours ago, the Starwind Vigil encountered an unregistered human vessel in Sector 7, identifying itself as HMS Indomitable. It surpasses all known human technological capabilities, heavily armed, and claims to lead an expedition fleet. Despite violating treaties 17, 22, and 34 on restricted species movement and military deployment, it presented valid authorization codes. From the Biological Survey Commission, signed by Subcommittee Chair Lorax, Vrad hissed. Absurd. No such clearance would be granted. Orita's expression remained neutral. We've investigated. The authorization is technically valid. The chamber erupted in protests. Orita raised her hand for silence. 8 months ago, humans submitted a multi-vessel biodiversity study request to the Biological Survey Commission. It was split across 14 departments, each approving parts without seeing the full scope. By consolidating approvals, they gained permission for armed ships in restricted space under the guise of science. Rhea's eyes widened. They fragmented their request? Precisely, Orita confirmed. Revoke it immediately, Vrad demanded. Orita's face grew grim. It's not that simple. The authorization is fully signed and sealed. Revoking it without process would violate our laws and risk a diplomatic crisis. A crisis? Vrad's scales flushed crimson. They're violating the spirit of our laws. But not the letter, Rhea countered. There's more, Orita added. We've received a human communication. The hologram shifted to a human female in elegant diplomatic attire, her posture poised, her expression calm. Greetings, High Council. I am Ambassador Emily Xiao of the Human Alliance. I understand concerns about our research expedition. Vrad leaned forward. No confusion, Ambassador. Your warships are trespassing. Xiao's smile didn't falter. With respect, the Indomitable is a multi-purpose exploration and peacekeeping platform, not a warship. Its specifications were detailed in Appendix C of our request, approved by your security division last cycle. She tapped off screen, sending documents to the Council's data space. I'm forwarding all authorizations and classifications. You'll find everything in order. The Council stared as document after document appeared, all bearing Confederation seals. Gores shifted to pale yellow. Unprecedented. Approvals from 17 departments. Xiao continued smoothly. While our expedition focuses on science, we've identified opportunities for commercial and cultural exchange. The Human Alliance seeks to strengthen ties with Confederation species. Several counselors exchanged glances, noting the economic potential. We've prepared trade proposals, technology sharing initiatives within permitted bounds, and cultural programs, Xiao added. Our analysis projects 12–18% economic growth in frontier sectors over 5 cycles. Ria's interest peaked. These proposals merit review. Vrad's tail lashed. This is a calculated bypass of our security protocols. I demand a blockade and expulsion. Orita studied the flood of documents, her expression troubled. Ambassador Xiao, while your paperwork complies, the rapid deployment of advanced ships raises concerns. Xiao nodded. We understand, Chancellor. We propose a joint observation team for transparency. After consulting advisors, Orita addressed the Council. We'll dispatch an observation team to monitor the human expedition and prepare contingency measures for any treaty breaches. To Xiao, she added, your expedition may proceed under observation, but any deviation from stated parameters will trigger action, Xiao bowed. The Human Alliance values our relationship and will comply. We anticipate a fruitful partnership. As the transmission ended, Vrad confronted Orita. You're allowing this farce? Orita's voice was calm but firm. I'm buying time to discern their intentions while upholding legal and diplomatic standards. Deploy intelligence assets if you wish, Counselor, but we won't risk war over paperwork. Not yet. As the council dispersed, a faint smile crossed Xiao's face before her hologram faded, hinting at confidence in a bloodless victory. The command deck of HMS Indomitable hummed as Captain Morrison reviewed reports from 3 newly arrived human vessels. Through the viewports, the barren surface of planet Zarnon loomed, a desolate world in Confederation space, ignored for its scant resources, or so official surveys claimed. Outpost construction progress, Commander Lewis, Morrison asked, sipping from a mug emblazoned with, I'd rather be conquering. Commander Lewis, a stocky woman with cropped gray hair, gestured to a holographic display. New Frontier Station is ahead of schedule, Captain. Primary habitats are operational, power systems at 85%, trading posts and docks will be ready by week's end. Morrison nodded. And our uninvited guests. 3 Kazik merchant ships arrived this morning, plus Nor collective representatives, all eager for trade talks, outside Confederation oversight. Lewis grinned. Everyone loves a loophole. Morrison chuckled. And the Confederation observers. Due within the hour, Lieutenant Kassan's been promoted to lead, joined by a legal expert and a diplomatic engineer. Morrison raised an eyebrow. Kassan? Perceptive fellow from our first encounter. Ensure all paperwork's front and center. Let's give them a warm, human welcome. 2 hours later, the Confederation shuttle docked. Observer Commander Kassan stepped through the airlock with measured dignity, flanked by Judicial Assessor Trill and Diplomatic Engineer Miro. They froze, stunned by the sprawling installation where they'd expected a modest research post. Dozens of prefabricated structures stood, with more rising rapidly. Construction drones buzzed, and human workers directed operations with startling efficiency. Welcome to New Frontier Station. Morrison approached, arms wide, his disarming smile unchanged. Thrilled to have Confederation guests. Comfortable trip? Kassan's violet eyes narrowed. This exceeds a research outpost, Captain. Morrison gestured broadly. You know how it is. Start building, might as well make it practical. Section 12D of our permit allows support infrastructure, and trade facilities are essential for sustainability. Trill, her crystalline form glinting, spoke sharply. I request all construction permits immediately. Of course, Morrison said cheerfully. Our compliance officer has everything ready. This way. As they walked, Kassan noted numerous non-human aliens, frontier species, technically Confederation members, but often ignored in policy. They engaged eagerly with human traders, inspecting goods and tech. In an office, a wall displayed countless permits and authorizations, all bearing Confederation seals. We've dotted every I and crossed every T, Morrison said proudly. Our respect for your bureaucracy is unwavering. Trill scanned the documents with her species precision. After minutes, she turned to Kessin. They have authorization for everything, Commander. Different departments, different codes, but valid. Kessan's headache grew. How? Morrison clapped his shoulder, making Kessan flinch. Efficiency and detail, Commander. Care for a tour. Our cultural exchange center's a highlight. The center was a massive dome where humans introduced aliens to Earth, music, films, and coffee. A DJ played classic rock, screens showed action movies, and a bar served Earth drinks. Our first interplanetary mixer, Morrison beamed. Open to all, no registration, pure cultural exchange. Miro, his sensory appendages twitching, spoke. Captain, your power converters modify Reliant designs, but with major improvements. Morrison nodded. Good catch. We tweaked outdated Confederation blueprints from public archives, boosting efficiency by 200%. Happy to share part of the exchange. As they toured, Kassan grew uneasy. Frontier species discussed tech loans, direct trade, and cultural franchises, bypassing Confederation oversight. On the observation deck, he confronted Morrison. What's your true goal, Captain? This isn't just research. Morrison leaned on the railing, his joviality fading slightly. Humans have a saying. When one door closes, find a window. The Confederation restricted our growth, so we found gaps in your regulations by exploiting bureaucratic inefficiencies. Kessan stared. Creative compliance, we call it, Morrison added. Every form filed, every permit secured. We're playing your game, just better. Kissane's calm chimed, a message from Chancellor Orita. Observer Commander, prepare for emergency council session. Human expansion raises concerns. Send full assessment. Morrison watched with knowing eyes. Trouble, Commander. Kassan stiffened. I must file my report. Excuse me. As he left, his mind raced. The humans hadn't fired a shot, yet they were staging a bloodless invasion through paperwork, trade, and culture, weaving themselves into frontier society. Most troubling as he passed young aliens excited about human music and fashion was the thought, what if this new order was welcomed? The Grand Hall of Reconciliation, built to accommodate all Confederation species, had never felt so tense. Its adaptive architecture adjusted for each delegate's comfort, but no design could ease the atmosphere. The High Council sat at one end, the human delegation led by Ambassador Xiao at the other, with frontier world representatives filling the galleries, many sporting human cultural items or sipping Earth-branded drinks. Chancellor Orita called the session to order, her voice resonating. This emergency session addresses human expansion in Confederation space. Observer Commander Kessan, your report. Kessan stepped forward, feeling all eyes. High Council, after inspecting New Frontier Station, I confirm its scale exceeds the stated research scope, but all activities comply with their permit's parameters. Vrad's scales flared crimson. Absurd. They've gamed our system, Trill joined Kessan. I reviewed their documentation. The humans filed separate applications to 43 departments over 17 months. Each seemed routine in isolation, but together they enable a major colonial and commercial hub. The hall buzzed with murmurs. Orita raised her hand. Ambassador Xiao, your response? Xiao stepped forward, poised. Chancellor, Council, the Human Alliance respects Confederation protocols. We've followed every regulation. If the result surprises, it may reflect administrative inefficiencies, not human deceit. Vrad stood, tail lashing. You fragmented applications to hide your intentions. Xiao's smile held. We filed complete requests to appropriate departments per Section 734B of the Administrative Procedures Act, which permits separate filings. We followed your rules, Morrison, behind Xiao, grinned. We're thorough readers. Vrad's claws extended. This is a cultural and economic invasion. Their station diverts trade, their tech undermines standards, their music corrupts our youth. Frontier representatives shifted uncomfortably. Xiao spread her hands. We seek peaceful cooperation. If Confederation citizens value our culture or trade, that's the natural evolution of relations. Orita turned to Miro. Your technological assessment. Miro's appendages waved in concern. The humans improved Confederation design significantly. Their unorthodox methods are effective, and they share improvements freely. A Frontier representative added, without the Confederation's lengthy reviews or fees. Orita's grip on her staff tightened. The humans had skirted the spirit of the law while adhering to its letter. Military action was unjustifiable and risky, especially with Frontier worlds favoring human methods. After consulting, Orita spoke. We face unprecedented circumstances our frameworks didn't anticipate. I propose a hybrid agreement. The chamber stilled. The Human Alliance will gain formal recognition of New Frontier Station as a commerce and cultural hub. Humans will access restricted sectors under a new treaty. In exchange, they'll share technological advancements, follow a new expansion code, and accept Confederation oversight at major installations. Vrad protested, but Orita continued. Sai responded, We accept in principle but request joint oversight. After 3 hours of heated talks, the agreement was set. As delegates left, Kessan stood near Morrison. Congratulations, Captain. Your strategy worked. Morrison's smile held a new gravity. This isn't about winning, Commander. Humans learned conquest isn't destruction. It's becoming essential to what's next. Kessin pondered. And what's next? A faster, adaptable confederation where ideas outweigh species. I hear you're on the Oversight Committee, looking forward to working together. Morrison extended a hand. After a pause, Kessin shook it. As am I, but I'll be watching closely. Morrison laughed. I'd expect nothing less. In the following months, New Frontier Station thrived as a commerce and cultural hub. Human music, food, and fashion spread across frontier worlds, while human traders built routes bypassing Confederation channels. The station symbolized a dynamic, less regulated approach, wildly popular among younger generations. Brad's protests faded as human economic ties grew. Even Central Confederation worlds adopted frontier-style administration. One evening, in the station's expanded observation lounge, Morrison and Xiao shared a quiet moment. Morrison raised his coffee cup. To peaceful conquest. Xiao smiled. To creative compliance. They watched trade ships, many from previously uninterested Confederation worlds, approach. Melian's sector expansion was approved today, Xiao noted. 17 new outposts in 6 months, Morrison nodded. And the Senate greenlit 12 more Indomitable-class ships. Too fast? Xiao asked. Morrison considered. No. The more we integrate, the harder we are to uproot. Beyond the viewport, stars stretched endlessly, new markets, new worlds for humanity's approach to take root. They'd won without a shot, armed only with paperwork and coffee. As Xiao left, Morrison lingered, smiling at a young Confederation official wearing headphones, bobbing to Earth music while processing permits for the next phase of human expansion. The conquest marched on, one form at a time.